maybe I can see him somehow.
Okay, right, he's unstuffed.
Okay, okay, perfect, working. We can go.
Okay, so starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so interestingly, they're not choosing to use that AoE stealth initially. They're going to get that gateway up, going to sap the priest as he runs in there. Might see the mass stuff coming out now. No, actually. Mage does get the Nova on them. They are getting full dots onto that priest, and they do actually knock the rogue out, so he's only going to get the sap from the paladin. Does choose to gouge him instead. Out comes the siphing from the priest. The rogue does step back to the warlock, though, as his shaman was in a full ring. Looks like they're going onto this rogue, but healing streams down, so the entire team will be fine. Rogue stuck in Nova right now, though. Does get the Earth Shield. Is using his throw at the priest pushing in. Looks like might go for a fear, but chooses not to. Does silence the shaman, though. Huge damage onto the warlock, though. Uses his sacrificial pact. Is in a VT horror. Does pull out of there. Believe he did use his unbound will there. Healing tide down from the shaman really early as well. Warlock pet does go down as well now, so the IRLS in a lot of trouble. The rogue does use his garrote on the mage, swaps over with a kidney shot to the priest. A lot of damage into this priest right now, but no CC on the paladin, so he's able to just keep his team up.
Paladin.
There's a cheap shot into a garrote on the paladin. No warlock does, but drops the paladin to about half by himself. What the paladin does then use his freedom and sprint away. Does use wings here as well. Out comes the Ring of Frost. The rogue walks into, does get spelled out of that, gouges the mage, and is back onto the shadow priest now.
The casters all still get their trinkets, but
Siphon does come out from the priest again, does look like it's going to hit the rogue. There's the fear on the rogue. Warlock did use his Dark Soul there as well, so he's then going to be looking to get full darts out. Does get a fear onto the mage there. Mage does get spelled out of that, or it breaks, I think, actually. Puts the Warlock into a full sheet. Rogue stuck in Nova, they're going to be going on to him now. Rogue does look like he's going to try and line of sight that priest a little bit. Maybe look and wait for a Shadow Dance back just to get that set up on the paladin again. Priest pushing in a little bit, and Warlock does push in now. Looks like he does get the Howl of Terror onto the paladin. Paladin's stuck in there, not getting Master spelled out, and still choosing to leave him out. Out comes the Frozen Orb. There's the fear onto the rogue with a deep. Does get dispelled out of that. No Earth Shield right now. There it is. Out comes the heals from the Shaman again now, though. Shaman not really in too much trouble. Got Spirit Walk's Grace. Staying at about half mana right now, though, so not in the strongest position for mana. Mage just kind of free casting right now. Out comes the Siphon again. Rogue's pushed in really far right now. Full kidney onto the paladin as he does a lot of damage to that priest. There was the sack on that, though. The priest's entirely though, almost. So he's going to need to disperse for mana soon if they can just keep denying these VTs, but does get the dots onto the Warlock right now. The mage looks like he's going to be able to swap the target right now. Rogue does target him. He uses Blazing Speed to get away. The Rogue's dropped to about half. It puts the paladin into a blind. The paladin does trinket that. The mage brings in now. There's the dance onto the priest. Cheap shot on top of that. Just keep him there. The paladin into a full fear right now with a UA dispel on top. Does use his fade right now. Looks like he might be dispersing here though. There it is. A little bit late, but you know that's not going to be too much of an issue. Now, it does look like the rogue's going to be trying to get onto the paladin now. Put another huge amount of damage into him. He does have his guardian out. There's the full garrote on the paladin. Guardian here is unable to do anything while he's garroted. There's the cheap shot. This could be the bubble from the paladin. There it is. So great swap onto the paladin from the RLS. Rogue does put a mage into a gouge. There's the spell lock onto the priest on caster. He's unable to do anything for a little bit. The Rogue just choosing to start
full fear on the paladin. Full fear.
Yeah, and
that's what you can on
this. There's the sprint freedom from the paladin. So not too much going to happen. The rogue does use a step to him, but then chooses to swap over to the mage. Is put into a full Nova, and looks like he's just going to try and get some line of sight, get himself picked up now. Shaman's mana is not very good though, down to 17k. Paladin about 100k. The Shaman really needs to get a drink right now. There's the Dark Soul out from the wall. There's the drink. Oh, might need to see a cloak from the rogue, but he does go down in the deep freeze.
Oh wow.
RLS had some great swaps there, but unable to really just get too much out of it. They didn't swap enough, I don't think, or that's not like effective enough because the Shaman went home too quickly, really, and that's what kind of cost them the game at the end.
They had really a moment where they turned things around, put a huge pressure back in a short period of time.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see the damage actually, but Akazuchi is already out. So how did you like his play?
It was good. I just think that they need to do a better job of shutting down whichever DPS they're like as a team, they need to do it because the priest was getting out too much pressure, really, even though he was the main target. I think it could be beneficial for them going on the mage, just because a rogue on a mage at the moment, rogue's mobility is quite nice, especially when they're running Shadow Step and they get kept out of Novas. So I think they could do a lot better job shutting down the mage, perhaps. I mean, he does have blazing speed to get away, but once that's on cooldown, he could be a great target, particularly with a Shadow Dance, just because he's going to be able to do no damage during that, and mages do take a lot of damage from rogues.
Yeah, especially with Shuriken Toss.
You can't play the same map twice, can we?
No. I don't think actually, but
I don't think so. So just asking them to pick a different map.
So which one do you think they'll take?
They've gone for Toldir.
Okay.
Just waiting for that. So for the other two group to be ready. The other group isn't full, is it?
It's this whole discussion about subterfuge versus shadow focus, and on this opener, Akazuchi got popped, and if he hadn't spec shadow focus but subterfuge, he would have done less damage during the burst that worked, but they would have a way better opener. So it's really discussion among rogues which talent was better. For example, Kuna is always playing subterfuge. I think Wreckful is playing subterfuge, but most high-rated rogues play shadow focus most of the time, and so it's a talent that rogue community is completely divided about, and it's like everyone is absolutely sure his choice is the best one. And yeah, I'm one of the rogues playing subterfuge, and
I prefer subterfuge. Myself, I find it gives you better control. It also means that on your opener you can't really be peeled because they can't target you.
There's a bug with subterfuge currently. Means if it ends too early after subterfuge, like in the first half second or something, the buff actually gets cancelled and you get visible. So and you lose out on the duration of Master Subtlety, which is a 10% damage increase. So
yeah.
But Blizzard actually wrote that they are going to do something about it, and hopefully the fix will come soon.
Yeah, I saw that. That's good. Okay, so we are going to get this. Okay, so they are going to choose Toldir. So again, they want a similar map. They wanted Nagrand again, even though that's the one they lost on. So they've obviously thought they have a strategy issue. So we might see them going on the Paladin a lot more because that did get them a lot of pressure when they did that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Paladin is the best choice here. You can, if they get a lot of pressure in the opening, because once the Paladin trinket is gone, the whole matchup just changes. You have so much more possibilities. If you know his trinket is gone, you can. Until that, basically, you play until you force the trinket. So doing an opener, getting his trinket, it's like the most important trinket. Pretty big, and so I definitely would go on the Paladin. Is Traktul an English server or a German server?
I think they might want to try shutting down the mage a little bit more because it felt like he had a little bit too much damage output that game. I have to see what they think though, because obviously they've thought about what they want to do.
I actually like Priest the least as target of all the choices.
I don't know, with the survivability nerf and a lot of that damage, well, they go event, especially if you can deny all the VTs.
Yeah.
But if you aren't denying pretty much every single VT, then you're kind of losing out a lot on that. So I think is ready. So started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so again, no AoE stuff coming out from this rogue. He is going to push in, going to get that sap on that priest nice and early. Then going to sap the mage. So The Priest definitely going to be the choice here. Gets put into a cheap shot. No CC on the Paladin, obviously, just yet. He's a bit too far for now. But Warlock getting full dots out now. Looks like he's going to be one of those on pretty much both DPS, just so they can swap between the two. Mage does decurse himself, but looks like the Rogue's just going to line aside and try and get a restealth by the look of it. So he's going to get that now. They would have a great job there. Bind Elemental out onto the Water Elemental. It does have full dots. Warlock pack getting a little bit low, but Mage is playing Frostbomb, so I want to see them shutting down that Mage a lot more than they are. There's the Garrote onto the Mage, and then he's swapping over to the Priest, so I think there's a mistake on that part. I think they should just sit on the Mage if he's playing Frostbomb, but out comes the Frostbomb onto the
You could see it on the opener. I mean, they opened up, but they didn't force anything on the opener. They just opened up on the Priest, and really nothing happened. So,
kick onto that polymorph though there. Mage does use Blazing Speed to get away. The Rogue's not really on anyone right now, so needs to connect to a target. It does look like he's going to be choosing the Mage. Paladin put into a full blind right now, has to sit in that. Does get a Fear Ward, which means the Warlock hasn't pushed up and got a single Fear. Huge pressure onto the Priest though. There's the dispersion. Blanket CS onto the Paladin there. Priest down to 50k in that disperse. Rogue pushing in as well. Looks like he might try and CC Paladin. Gets the full sap on the Paladin. Great play from him.
Wow.
Priest does life swap Mage though, so a huge pressure out from this RLS now. The Rogue put into a full Fear. The Shaman did tremor him out of that though, and the Shaman Mage then gets puts the Warlock into a full polymorph. Does look like they're getting pressure onto the Paladin now, who has used his Guardian to try and catch up, and he's going to be alright for now. His team are going to be fine. The Rogue was line of sight in there for trying to get the re-stealth, doesn't get it though. Frostbomb on him, does explode as Deep Freaks hits, so in a lot of in a quite bad situation, put into a Fist of Justice as Devouring Plague hits, might need to cloak here. Out came the healing type there, and the Freedom Totem, put into a Horror, does get some steps to the Priest with the Siphene up, does get feared by that Siphene. He's going to have to sit in that for now. Now the Warlock's in a full Fear. He does not use Cloak. Paladin, just sitting on top of the Shaman right now, does go for the Blinding Light, does cancel that when he realises he's not going to hit it. Rogue in a quite bad spot right now though. No, and not near any target. Does sprint to get to the Priest. Looks like Priest is going to be their target from now on. No CC on the Paladin just yet though. The Mage put into a full Hex, so great Hex from him. Going to be shutting down on the Mage. The Warlock does have Dark Soul and Resolve up right now.
And now the Dance is on.
There's the Smoke
and
Bomb.
The Smoke Bomb.
In that as well. The Mage comes in to CS the Warlock on that, and the Rogue is stuck
on the Priest.
So there's the Bob and the Bubble down. No Trinket of the Paladin. He'd be a great swap target right now if they can just wait until the next chance. Maybe a Dark Soul as well, but
yeah, but he has Trinket in 20 seconds, so they if they want to swap to him, they probably should do it
from the God Comp right now. Priest still looking like he's going to be the target for now. Rogue does put him into a full kidney shot. He's taking quite a lot of damage. No CC on the Paladin though. The Paladin is out of line of sight. Mage Frozen Orb was down there, and Shaman looks like the Warlock's taking a little bit of damage. Does get put into a full ring. Rogue in the line of sight now. That's the Shaman. Rogue was feared out into the open, so he's in a stealth right now, not breaking to dots just yet. Does break out now. Warlock in a huge amount of trouble. Out comes the Sacrificial Pact. Looks like he's going to be okay, but that does wear off. Got his Dark Regen Healthstone up. There's the Healing Stream as well. The Shaman put into a full Hodge as his Ascendance does end. Mage in the open right now though. Has just used Blazing Speed, so he could be a good target. Full polymorph onto the Shaman though. Still on the Priest.
Sacrifice use.
So this God Comp can kind of do whatever they want right now. Looks like they're going to choose the Warlock. He's needs to life tap. Has the Devouring Plague up. Does need to get out of there, but he's in a really bad spot. Might need a Spirit Link to come out here, but one heal from the Shaman, he is going to be fine. Rogue now though, onto the Shaman. Looks like he's on the Paladin. Full kidney shot on the Paladin with darts. Looks like he's doing a huge amount of damage into him here. The off heals and the shield coming in from the Priest. Does now stealth, goes over to the Mage, puts him into a Garrote. Looks like he's going to want to connect on him for a bit. Now looks like the Priest is going to be his target. Does get onto that Priest. Priest not having an issue in mana, having enough VTs out. Now, the Warlock is Nova out of line of sight, unable to do anything at the moment. It's just the Rogue at the moment. The Shaman's put into VT spell, has his mana tied down. Out comes the Polymorph from the Mage, does fake that shear and get the Grounding Totem down. Healing Stream out from the Shaman, so he's going to be alright now. Rogue does look like he's dancing onto the Priest right now, so he's going to have quite a huge amount of damage. There's the Dispersion. Paladin was in a full fear with a dot. Rogue looks like he's going for the sap on that, but there's the blind. Into a Trinket. Trinket's blind into a tap, so great play from the Rogue here. Rogue is now put into a fear. Does look like he's going to be hitting the Mage a little bit just while he's there. Now they're going to be swapping over onto the Paladin. Paladin looks like he's going to get full kidneyed really soon. Paladin pops his wings, freedom. He has Aura Mastery up as well now. Rogue was in a deep freeze though. Does cloak out of that, so he's going to be fine for now. Warlock going to be the target. Does get put into a CS. Rogue in a half there with a Nova on top of that. Fear onto the Shaman. Does tremor out of that. Then cancel the tremor. The Healing Stream does go down, but that is destroyed as well. Siphene no longer up as well. Full polymorph onto the Shaman. Frostbomb on the Warlock. Warlock could be in a lot of trouble right now. but the rogue doing a great job shutting down this priest. The priest doesn't have a fear ward on himself, doesn't put that on the paladin. Paladin is in a fear at the moment. The rogue does look like he redirect kidneys over to him. Doesn't want to hit him though. Priest's still going to be his target, as the priest has to just cast heals into himself. Not doing too much, so out comes the shield. There's the Ring of Frost. Might hit both DPS, but the mage does have to cancel casting that. Rogue moves out of it, only hits the warlock. Rogue going to be connecting back onto the priest now. Rogue now targeting the paladin. Paladin does use his shield wall here. Freedom's away, does get cheap shotted. Warlock taking a lot of damage now though. Garrot onto the paladin. Warlock extremely low. Out comes the sacrificial pack and the port away, so he's going to be fine for now. The Shadow Fiend was popped there as well, so that was quite the burst from the God Comp. The paladin's spent to a full fear right now though, as the rogue does look like he's going to be targeting the priest again, but he's going to be fine. Now the rogue looks to be the target.
He has the Ansem blind, and the paladin doesn't have the trinket yet.
So it looks like they might be wanting to set up on this paladin. Full sheep onto the shaman at the moment though, so not a great time. Out comes the Siphon. Looks like that will be fearing the rogue soon, although manages to stop that. There's the fear on the rogue. Huge damage out into the warlock. Warlock does portal away now. There's a healing stream just gone down now, so that's not available anymore.
And the smoke bomb on the priest.
There's the smoke bomb on the priest though. Kind of a waste on that. I'd like to have seen that save for that swap on the paladin, which they need to get. Rogue's quite low though, so he's not in a great spot. The healing stream is down again, so he's probably going to be alright for now. Paladin's got full dots. He's going to be rotting away a little bit. Looks like they might want to set up. And here's the vanish. Here comes the swap onto the paladin. He knows it's coming. He shield walls before it. There's the cheap shot. Priest might come to grip him away, but the priest is in a blind. The shaman's in a polymorph. There's a blanket onto the warlock right now. There's the grip away. Mage does blink into them. Blanket spelllock on the shadow priest as the rogue split into a deep. There's the frost bomb exploding. And huge damage onto this rogue now. Going from this commanding position on the paladin, the position he's in now. Full sheep onto the warlock is dispelled. Shaman and paladin are about equal on mana, so nothing too major happening mana-wise.
Bubble is
now,
coming back up, by the way.
Mage again. Priest just able to free cast for a little bit. Rogue gets put into a polymorph. Looks like he wants to move back. Mana Tide does come out from the Shaman. The priest pushes in, gets a fear on them. There's the Tremor Totem. That is then recalled. So Mana Tide just going to be left up, not destroyed at all. Shaman got quite a lot of mana from that. Beating the Paladin now. Paladin's put into a full kidney as they continue to pressure this priest. Frozen Orb comes out from the mage. Looks like they're targeting the Warlock, although they did put a Devouring Plague Silence on the Shaman there. Warlock taking quite a bit of damage. He's got Dark Soul up right now as well, though. Puts a full fear onto that mage. If that paladin spells it, he's going to take a lot of damage.
Dark Soul didn't get dispelled at all.
You can't dispel Dark Soul anymore, actually.
Oh, actually? Sorry, my bad.
Rogue looks like he's going to be wanting to open up on the paladin. He's a bit low, but does then choose to just garrot the priest and connect to the mage instead. Mage put into a hex, so Rogue then steps back over to the shadow priest. There's the dispersion. They're going to swap onto this paladin now. He's got full cheap shot on him off that fear. He's still below. There's the full dots. There's the garrot. Here are the off heals from the priest. Out comes the fear. Warlock does unbound will that. Hex polymorph onto the rogue. No dispel available just yet though. There it comes. There's the bubble from the paladin again though. And the life swap though. So I think that was a life swap actually. I'm not 100% sure. There's the heals on and the guardian from the paladin. So he's able to catch up. Now the shaman and the shaman's beating the paladin by about 100k mana right now. Warlock's got a frostbomb on it. It's going to explode soon. There's the deep freeze in a huge amount of trouble. There's the sacrificial pact. He's destroyed though. It's still in a huge amount of trouble. Out comes the dark regen hailstone. Blanket CS on him into a horror. Shaman has got healing tied down as well, so Warlock's going to be fine for now. Does look like they want to be on the paladin. There's the full garrot. Blind on the priest. Kidney off on the paladin. Does trinket out of that. Uses divine favour or mastery. Gets a big heal onto himself. The rogue is put into a sheep. That does get dispelled. Double fear onto the shaman and the rogue though. That is tremor totemed. Rogue looks like he's going to be going for a restart now. And the mage also at about half. Does blazing speed back in, so he could be a viable target right now. Rogue is just trying to have his poisons up on everyone right now. There's the Siphon out. Does fear the rogue at the same time as polymorph. Both are dispelled. Rogue then now puts the dance with a cloak up onto the priest. Priest in a huge amount of trouble in a full garrot. Paladin in a full fear. Priest could go down here. Down to 5k and he's going to go down.
1-1. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was much better play from the RLS. They had a lot more control over that game. They were a lot more coordinated. They didn't really overlap their cooldowns when they didn't need to. Obviously, there was a healing tide at the same time. Warlock had cooldowns up. That was kind of necessary. And they took great swaps there. Great control from them overall. Great game.
The sap was really good, and he sapped the trinket, so
yeah, that was really good.
Was blinded, he trinketed, and
yeah, slight maybe a mistake by the paladin, not noticing that the rogue had vanished and was, not sure where he was, and he had just been blinded, so the rogue was obviously in range.
The last strike, the rogue actually did more damage than the mage in this match.
Yeah, it's just crazy the damage the rogue can put out in those sort of situations. Wonder what map the Godcomp are going to take. They might be looking for something that perhaps put them. Just a quick thing: the game does have a 10-minute time limit.
We went over it.
I'm just checking. No, we didn't go over that, but
okay.
Yeah, so
we didn't actually go over it. It's just it's only 10 minutes, not okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been told by the
12 or 14. Okay.
That game was quite close to that time limit, though.
I really like how the mage is always kind of yelling, and when he's getting close to this, did you see what he was actually yelling?
I can't, but I've seen it in previous games. He has obviously macro to his on use and frozen orb or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like let's take the money or something like that. It's like reminds me of a sale who always starts shouting when matches get closer when they're about to win. Would love to hear this Skype. So they wanted to take Necron, but it's not allowed to take the same map twice, and now the Godcom is still discussing which map. Hope we will have a decision soon. Which map would you choose? In their shoes.
I don't know. I think it's difficult. I think the larger maps are better for them because it means under swaps the priest can actually grip. Obviously, both the larger maps are gone. I think Blade's Edge might be worth it for them, just because the Paladin would be able to jump down when he's corrupted, and the priest would be able to grip him back up. But it really does. And
by the way, Resco's Biceps, the team from Equin with Darkwing Dark, Rescolol, and Zami just quit the tournament. They're out completely. I think all matches against them will be rated as wins. But they didn't win a single match up until now, I think. So they are set to steer for 0-4 and are out of the tournament.
Okay. They have chosen Ruin, so that's going to be... I think this map might offer them a lot of control just because people are going to be in the open quite a lot, or they're going to be on the pit or the tomb where they're going to be really susceptible to fears from that priest. Yeah, so I think this is... I quite like this map choice from them. The only problem is it does mean that the Paladin's also going to be quite susceptible to swaps and fears, really. But as long as if the priest can get a master spell on a fear at a good time, that'll be a really, really good play from him, and it can definitely change games because we saw there they like to swap on the Paladin off of fear a lot of the time, just because it means he's got to win. He's in the open, he's going to be in quite a bad spot. It's just unspec cheat there.
I think the first match a team plays in a tournament is often played a lot worse than later matches because they just adjusted to anything, and so I think it was really visible how much it changed for the RLS, how much better they played. But it's a close one. It's a good match. It's a good match. I really like it. So
yeah,
my bet goes on Plastikcleave. What do you think?
Sorry, which team's Plastikcleave again? Just
the RLS.
Yeah, I think this one's going to go to the RLS. Although the Godcom definitely won without their opportunities there, and it really could have gone either way at times. They had a lot of pressure on that Warlock. But we are going to get this started, so we're going to begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so straight away they're going for a gateway. Not going to be able to stop that. The Rogue is there, ready to sap anyone. Mage does start to invis. There's the sap on the Priest. Rogue might look for the Mage, but choosing to sit there instead. Does get the sap on the Paladin. The Mage manages to Nova the Rogue out, which is great from him. There is a quick dispel on that. Follow into another Nova. Could be put into a deep freeze here. The Warlock has used his Dark Soul already though, and they're looking to get a lot of damage out into this Priest right now, but not too much really happening. Warlock taking a lot of damage. Rogue put into a Fear to the other side of the map. Looks like they might want to swap to him. He's in quite a bad spot, but he does manage to get back closer. He's put into a stun over here though, so he's going to be taking a lot of damage. Might actually be forced to cloak here. I wouldn't be surprised. There's the Horror. There's the Healing Tide from the Shaman. Does have the Aura Mastery up, so he's going to be able to just get 3 casts up and be able to pick him up. Saves Rogue's Cloak. Now, at the moment, Paladin is beating the Shaman by quite a bit on mana. They did put a deep freeze onto the Shaman there, though. He does choose to gateway away, so great play by him. Looks like they are going to be targeting the Priest again. Looks like he's going to be the main target, even though this mage running Nether Tempest this time?
But the lock is really dropping.
Yeah, uses Sacrificial Pact, Dark Regen, and Hellstone Ports away. Full Sheep onto the Rogue here. An interesting choice by the mage to run Nether Tempest this time. Obviously feels that's going to give him more damage. The Rogue's in on his own at the moment, so he might be the target right now. Mage is quite in the open, so they might look to go on him, as the Priest is just at the pillar lining. Rogue does move over to the Mage, but looks like he's going to want to connect on that Priest now. There's the Tremor Totem from the Shaman on that Fear, but not really too much happening. There's the Rogue connecting to the Priest now. Does look like he's going just to line of sight a little bit. Look, I'm not really too sure what this RLS are wanting to do right now. The Paladin's beating the Shaman on mana by quite a bit. There's the Howler Terror onto the Paladin. Paladin quite low. He might be a swap target here. Put into a blanket CS.
They're actually going on the Priest. Oh god.
Onto the Priest,
wow.
And he just dies without dispersion there. That setup onto the onto that Priest was huge, and I really want to know how that Priest got hit for. It did huge amount of damage.
It wasn't even Dance wasn't even up.
Really great play from that team there. I don't know how much they put out that much damage in that short space of time. The Priest didn't even have time to disperse there, so that is going to be the series 2-1 for the RLS, I think. Yeah. Is that right?
Yes, they won the series. And the RLS, as they have one win against Resco's Beatsteps because they are disqualified, so everyone wins against them. They are actually 2-0 and are on place 1 with Nori's team currently. So, checking. Okay, I hear that the time is gone and the BlackRock team with Doomson actually dropped out of the tournament. Not sure why, and they will be replaced by Magelock Shaman.